Welcome to this short instructional video on how to use PowerPoint animations. In this video I'm going to show you how to animate your bulleted text to make it easier for the audience to focus on what you're talking about when you're talking about it. In the subsequent video I'm going to show you how to use animations to add a pointer on your images, and so you can get rid of that annoying laser pointer which does not show up well in the videos and will have the students complaining about your lecture. So here we go. So I'm just on my desktop and I'm going to start PowerPoint. Now this works equally well with Turning Point, but we're just going to use PowerPoint. And I'm starting with a brand new fresh presentation, and so we'll just call this Flying Bullets, and I'm going to put the identifiers in. And something that is important and frequently forgotten is the date, and it's a good idea to put a last revised date so you always know if your presentation is the most current version. So we're going to put that in so that we'll never be confused about this. Okay, now I'm going to create a slide, and this will be the first point that I'm making in my presentation. So there's our title, point number 1, and within point number 1 we have 5 bullets. So we've got bullet A, and we've got bullet B, and we've got bullet C, and we've got bullet D, and finally there's bullet E. Right now, all the bullets would be up there, but they would all be on the screen at once, and the audience might have a little bit of difficulty knowing where I am in the talk unless I'm constantly pointing, again using that lousy laser pointer to focus the audience attention where I want it. So we can use animations to solve this problem, and we access animations with one of these tabs at the top called Animations. So we click there and we get a number of choices, and the one that works really well for most situations is called Flying. And if I mouse over, you can sometimes get the effect, but here we go. And now we see a preview of what we're going to get. And, float in will be like this. So if we want to experiment, we can see, but, the fly-in works pretty well for most situations. So I'm just going to click on that, and we're going to get our fly-in, and then you're going to see what's very important. See, the program did not create one animation. It created 5 animations, one for each bullet. So the paragraphs are going to be animated separately. Now here there are some options for the animations. Normally you're not going to mess with these. If you had an automated presentation, you could sync up your animations with the audio portion, but when you're doing a lecture, you're sometimes going to say a little extra or a little less, and so it's best in most circumstances to manually advance the animations so that you're always in sync with what you're doing. Now these duration and delay settings, they work pretty well for most circumstances, but you can change them if you wanted to get some special emphasis or special effects. But most of the time the default settings work pretty well. Now there are options. All the animations have options, and this one, the option is where the bullets will fly in from. So we see the default is from the bottom, which is what we wanted, but we could have had it come in from the left or from the top or from the right. And in different situations you might want to choose one of these, but this one works fine for what we want, and we'll just leave it the way it was. Okay, so let's see how this is going to look on our program, so we're going to save our file, and I'm going to just put it here. Let's see here. We can put it under PowerPoint. Oops, that's not what I wanted. My mouse glitched on me. There we go. PowerPoint. Okay, so Flying Bullets. All right, and now we can just do our slideshow tab and from the beginning. And so here's our presentation. So we got the title slide, introduce the topic, and we go to point number 1. And now you notice there aren't any bullets up yet, and this is how the program will behave. But you can make some general comments about point number 1. And now you see your first bullet comes in, and you're going to talk about the first bullet, and everybody's going to know you're talking about the first bullet because that's the only one that's on the screen. You bring in the second bullet, and everyone's going to see that one. So you don't need to highlight, give any other highlight to your bullets because it's always at the bottom. So the audience knows what you're talking about when you're talking about it. So you're going to advance through your bullets one at a time, and I'm going to manually advance by using the arrow key or the little clicker on the handheld thing, but you'll manually advance, and we're at the end of the slide, and the next time I advance, I'll be at the end of the presentation. So this works quite well. It's very easy to do, and it's a great way to get the audience focused on what you're talking about when you're talking about it. Okay, well, I hope that was very clear and you all know how to do that. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to add pointers onto your images to get rid of that laser pointer. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the video.